Without any introduction, we are going to keep playing Call of Dragons Season of Stripe 5. We are fighting in a huge KVK. My account, which is tier 4 account, is fighting in a KVK where there is a EIS, which is the big alliance, 24 billion power alliance, right? So you can imagine what kind of players I'm actually fighting against right now. And yes, I'm struggling in terms of merits because I should have been tier 5 already, but simply because I wanted to participate in artifact events such as Universal Artifact Compendium in order for me to actually be good at some stages of the game, even if I will be tier 4. But yeah, the problem became really obvious when I had to get a lot of treaties, lot of arrows, and that actually took a lot of time. By the way, right now my account's tier 5 journey is getting closer and closer. I finally started like assault strategies to level 10, which means last level. So I think it will be interesting how I will perform in future against these players with tier 5, right? But we have to mention, so far we are fighting against them while being tier 4, and honestly it's super hard. Right now I understand what some players mean, that they sometimes generally don't even want to play in a big KVK simply because the players are so strong that it's almost impossible to compete, right? I have heard many complaints like that, and honestly this is my first time ever trying out this kind of format. And honestly, yeah, I won't gonna lie, it's quite hard, right? Well, in terms of comparisons, I will compare, like, for example, last KVK, I was getting with Magrot and Zaida 35, 40, 50k merits, right? Per one run. Right now, in this KVK is absolutely horribly hard. Basically, the maximum amount of merits I'm getting with my main damage dealer, which is Magrot and Zaida, have been like 20 to 25k merits, right? So basically, if I will get like 25 to 20k merits with these two hero pairs, I would say job is done, right? Because we are fighting against the players who are everything maxed out. Not only heroes, not only artifacts, they have exemplar wish artifacts. That's like big aspect, right? Plus, we have to mention that they have 3-star warpets, which I don't know if you are just beginner of Call of Dragons. If you are, trust me, you have to put your attention towards the warpets, because warpets are generally as a third hero, right? Like if you're gonna compare the damage which you are dealing to warpets, which warpets are actually dealing, I would say they sometimes have higher damage than like normal heroes, right? Which is pretty epic. And of course, like building warpet is not really easy. You have to spend a lot of time, even if you are spender, and even if you are like trying to purchase as much pet tokens as possible. Honestly, if you want to get 3-star main skill, there is only one way, and that's the only one way, which is just to get pets, like catch pets to get the talent skills and just increase the experience, right? That's the only way, and I think that's the reason why I rate really highly good warpets in Call of Dragons, because they actually change a lot, right? They actually change a lot. Well, like whenever there will be a great report, I will try to share the results, and finally you guys will understand what kind of impact I'm actually talking about when I was speaking about warpets, right? For example, for my warpet collection right now, I have Snow Peak Rock, which is this 3-star, which means like concentration is 3-star skill. And currently I'm trying my best to build the Shadow Manticore's Barbarism. That's the skill which is like generally really good. I feel like Shadow Manticore is one of the best warpets in the game currently, especially for the archers. Well, simply because it's amazing for Magrot and Zaida, and everything is amazing for Magrot and Zaida, right? It's not a big surprise that Magrot and Zaida is especially great if you are playing Archer main, because you kinda understand how to play the game, how to position yourself. Not only if you are mage, right? Not only if you are mage, you also get a lot of merits while you are playing with the mages and archers with this hero pair, and that's what this hero pair makes so good, right? Like whenever you are playing game and you want to be a damage dealer, you have a choices, right? You either going for archer, you either going for mage, right? You have two choices. This hero pair is so good that you can play with both. So that's the most epic part about the hero pair. And honestly, like whenever somebody is saying I'm mage main and I want to have a one good archer hero pair, my main advice is always to get Magrat and Zyda, right? You will get a lot of merits by playing mages. You will get a lot of merits by playing archers. Of course, if you are going with mages, you will be using celestials. If you are going with archers, you are using normal archers. Yeah, as I said, the merits won't gonna be surprising for this run because it's super hard to get merits in this kind of fights, especially whenever you know that these people are having tier 5 troops, maxed out heroes, maxed out everything, right? So last KVK we had a long range warfare, right? This KVK we don't have long range warfare. So what changed in my eyes? In both KVKs, I'm going to fight. I'm a fighter. And biggest difference is that without long range warfare, basically I'm only fighting against infantry players and sometimes cavalry. With long range warfare, I basically play against every single troop type. What I mean by that, right? Honestly, this is like second day of PvP with the season without long range warfare, and I should be honest, it's super hard, especially if the infantry players are strong and they have a good builds. It's getting super hard to even deal damage, right? That's the main point. It's not even about survivability, it's not even about being impactful. Playing with archers without long range warfare, basically I have like only one or two options. Either I deal damage to infantry or I deal damage to cavalry. And basically almost 99% of the times that's the targets are of course infantry players, right? Because if you are playing in a strong KVK, believe me, enemy will have a lot of infantry. Even right now, right? I think this fight I have never had in this KVK such a long time hitting only mages. Like basically we had like half a sec, like 35 seconds when I had like couple of free attempts to deal damage to the backline, and honestly that was the highest amount of time I have dealt damage to them, right? So that was the biggest difference. It's not even about like how game is changing. Basically you are having a different targets, right? Like with long range warfare, basically I was standing and only attacking mage players, and right now, like if I will have like 20 seconds free time, I think should be really happy that I had those 20 seconds in a one whole fight, right? So difference is huge. With long range warfare you are more safe, you have more time to attack your best target, and whenever you are attacking your best target as a archer player, basically you are getting a lot of merits, right? Unfortunately, we are going to get sandwiched in this fight, but there is no problem because I'm pretty sure I will be able to send one more troop, one more run, and we will try to get more merits, right? Let's give it a second until Magrat will go home. My town is pretty close, and of course we will try to give it one more try. Since this fight is pretty nice because there is some moments when I have a free shot at the mage players, and that's the best thing which can actually happen for me, right? Alright, Magrat is at home. Let's bring my three most important hero pairs, which I have been fighting like almost, I don't know, 3 or 4 KVKs. And yeah, like if you're gonna ask about Indicentara, I don't know about you, I really rate. Especially if you are tier 4 player and you are playing as a wyverns, I would suggest you to get this in the Centaura with the wyverns. You're gonna heal a lot. You will be off tank. You will try to also give a lot of buffs, not only the infirm which you have on the indies, but also as a Tara, right? Tara's second skill is pretty good. Tara's second skill actually gives us 50% physical attack and 10% damage reduction, right? And I don't know about you, but I believe at the end game, every single additional buffs are super important. And I believe that every single buff which you can actually get should be utilized whenever you are playing with the during the end game, right? And actually I actually feel like this is the end game, and well, that's the reason why every single fight I only try to fight with my best marches, simply because if I will use some hero pair which does not really have a good amount of skill levels, or I don't have the proper artifact, I believe that I should not really use those hero pairs and heroes in the fights, simply because I won't gonna do anything and my troops will be wasted, right? It's always better to use your troops for the most appropriate heroes, because you don't want to spend your troops with the hero pairs which are not going to do anything, right? Unfortunately, we are not having any front line right here. Yeah, as I said it, and I can see our infantry players running inside, which is pretty cool, right? Which is pretty cool. Hopefully we will have some targets here, we will do some damage, but yeah, right now what we are doing is running, which won't gonna help us, right? So, what's the new thing about this season? We have Stewardship. Stewardship is like a race of Remedy, so there is a small pattern already which I can see in Call of Dragons for archers. One season there is a long range warfare, second season there is something which is giving us a lot of healing, right? So not only me who is rating heals in Call of Dragons a lot, I think even developers of the game, they are rating healing a lot in Call of Dragons, and I feel like especially for archers healing is great, right? Because we are dealing damage mainly by normal attack. And yeah, by dealing normal attack, we are getting a lot of severely wounded units to the enemy, and that's where variable healing actually marks and does a great job, right? So I think in every single warped, in every single good archer hero pair, we have to try to stick at least some kind of healing, which will benefit us because it will allow us to be alive more during the battlefield, which means we're gonna deal more damage, right? So that's the pattern which I'm trying to get, and that's the main reason why I have been using the Indecent Ara hero pair, not only for heals but also for the buffs, right? You might say Kinara and Nico doesn't really have healing in their play kit. That's the reason why I'm trying to find a new hero pair for Kinara, which will give us some heals in order for Kinara to be alive on the battlefield longer. And whenever we will be alive longer, that's good because Kinara's control tree will have higher effect. There will be like more heroes which we are going to deal damage or silence. And yeah, I'm using Kinara's talent tree which has a silence in it. If the silence will be procced, enemy won't gonna be able to use the artifact, which is pretty nice, right? Imagine infantry player running and you straight up proc the silence and the enemy got silence, they can't really use the Spirit Bone Torque. So how amazing it is. Yeah, regarding the race of Remedy, basically Warlord is the class which I think every fighter should choose, because Stewardship is basically version 2 of Race of Remedy. With the Race of Remedy, which is Stewardship, you will be able to get way more merits, not because you will deal more damage, right? That's not the case. You will get more merits because you will survive longer during the battlefield, which will allow yourself to deal more damage, right? Unfortunately, somehow I managed to get targeted by a lot of players, but I think it's totally fine. Game generally lags whenever there is a lot of players online fighting at the same time. Yeah, I think that was the main problem. My hero pair got stuck because back there was a blinking infantry player, which is not a great decision. Yeah, that's the reason why it's super hard to play in the KVK of the strong players, because they actually understand how to fight in Call of Dragons, right? Of course, we can also run one more mage hero pair run, because mages are having the highest amount of range in the Season of Stripe 5, and I think if you have mage troops, and I have a lot of mage troops in my arsenal, like 1.1 million mage troops, that's quite enough in order for me to use them, right? Of course, because I don't invest in this game, I have to be limited with the heroes and where I'm investing my tokens. This Waldyr is like awakened, the Velyn is 5424, but all the levels on Velyn is basically gotten from the gold keys, and yeah, like basically free to play friendly Waldyr and Velyn. Generally, when I stream and I'm playing with Waldyr and Velyn, we call it a chill guy run, and basically chill guy because you have high range. You can attack enemy from the highest range and you feel safe, right? Safe and chilled. You are not trying to think about the positioning too much. You are just standing still, attacking and trying to deal as much damage as possible. Right now, since I'm attacking these archers, I don't know, maybe you guys did not look, but whenever I was playing with the archers, I never had that much time to attack enemy, right? Sometimes when icon is getting lagged, it's all actually horrible because it's impossible to track. So yeah, right now this is the free time we are having dealing damage to mage players. I don't know. Yeah, I guess everything is fine. Waldyr and Velyn's main idea is to deal damage to multiple targets, and that's what we are actually going to do here. Of course, we won't gonna have like super a lot of the merits with this hero pair. The same story goes to mages, like I said, it depends who you are attacking, right? And with my Waldyr and Velyn, I believe I won't gonna have too much damage. It's almost impossible. What we can do is to survive for such a long time that the AoE damage with these two hero pair is actually dealing damage will do it enough, and that enough will translate to getting merits, right? Of course, whenever you are playing mages, you have to understand that only way, not only but main way for you to deal damage is by the skill, and skill is in order for your hero pair to cast a skill, you have to use your rage, right? You have to wait until your rage is maxed out, and you will be able to use your skill. That's why sometimes whenever you are shooting somebody for a long time and you are not getting merits, it means you were only normal attacking and you had to use your skill, and after your skill will be used, that's when you are actually dealing a lot of damage. I think right now, like with this hero pair, the highest amount of damage I will deal will be with the Phoenix Eye, which I basically used right now. But yeah, since I can see that new infantry players are running, I will try to hide even more, right? Of course, the gameplay is hard, it's not easy. There is a lot of blinks, there is a lot of artifacts which are disrupting your damage dealing abilities. That's why you have to be cautious, right? Because almost everybody understands how to fight in this kind of KVKs. So like I'm sharing all these tips because maybe you guys will go into this Season of Stripe 5 and it will be your first time fighting like against experienced fighters. I'm just sharing my tips, I'm just sharing my thoughts, how I'm looking everything, and what's actually the biggest differences whenever you are fighting well, against like medium beginners and late game players, right? In terms of merits, well, if we're gonna get yellow merits, that's good. We got 25k from Magrat and Zaida, 22k for the second round, and 30 and 30 with the Waldyr, right? I think this is good enough if we're gonna mention that we are fighting against like such a strong players. Of course, I will try my best to have a higher merits than I have right now, but yeah, we will see, right? Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye. Luck.